One of the 59 voting stations, and it's expected to start announcing the results of the Metsimaholo by-elections this morning, or rather later today, with eyes on the SACP to see how it performs in its debut election. Meanwhile, more complaints have been recorded. The EFF has laid a fraud charge against IEC officials, and the SACP has listed various grievances. The IEC in Metsimaholo says it's still expecting results from 9 voting stations, and counting is still going on in 5 voting stations. Final results are expected by early this afternoon, and the average voter turnout has been listed at around 41%. Vote counting started at the close of voting stations at 9 p.m. last night. Well, for more on this, we cross to our reporter, Nthakoana Ngatane. She's in Sasolburg monitoring the situation there. Nthakoana, good afternoon to you. So 42 seats are at stake here. Is that right? And as far as the results go, we understand things are still being calculated. How are things going?
Well, the latest update, Natasha, is that all of the voting stations have now completed their counting, and those results have now come into the IEC center here at the Metsimaholo municipality, and they are now being consolidated to come out with a picture of how many wards will go to which party. Now, all the parties at the moment, a nail-biting final stretch moment where bigwigs from provincial head offices, from national head offices even of the political parties are here. They have begun congregating around this IEC center here, perhaps to hear the final result, but also they're walking in and out of the IEC offices here, maybe consulting with the officials, to get to that final picture. But when we talk to the IEC on the sides of this, they tell us that it'll take about another 2 hours to come out with a clear picture of who takes what. And as you've indicated, 42 seats of the Metsimaholo municipality up for grabs. 21 will come from the wards that we are now waiting for. The other 21 will be proportionally allocated according to the percentage of vote. And until that moment happens, like we saw in the 2016 election, the ANC had 16 wards, but when they were allocated the proportional vote, they only got 3 additional seats, and that ended up with 19, which didn't give them a majority. So until that final percentage is calculated and we know how many seats each party will get, only then can we say that what the final result is. And I think all of these other parties, the smaller ones, are banking on those percentages to get 1, 2, 3, and maybe more seats. Because at the moment, from the official numbers, we know that the ANC at least has 6 wards and the DA has 5. But the ANC claims that it has been able to retain 13 of the 16 that they won in 2016. But we have to wait for that final result to understand who has got what. Natasha?
Absolutely. Okay. And there have also been allegations in the meantime from SACP party members and voters that polls were rigged. What's being said around this?
Well, when we spoke to IEC manager here in the province, and that is Itumeleng Leba, he told us that a lot of the queries, a lot of the challenges that the parties raised, and those would have come from the Freedom Front Plus, which said that some of their members were not able to vote at the beginning because their names did not appear on the voters' roll. It was the SACP saying that some voting stations were closed during voting. It was the SACP also claiming that some voting stations were placed in places where there are actually no voters, and also saying that they suspect that there might have been some busing in of voters. But the IEC says that it sat down with all the parties and looked through each and every one of those allegations and challenges, and that they came out with an agreement that overall, all things considered, with all the challenges considered, a lot of them were explained why it was that they happened. For instance, with the closing of a voting station, saying that some of the IEC officials or the presiding officers thought that if there's a query that has been raised by the parties or the party agents, that they had to stop the voting, but then the IEC then informed them that they had to go ahead, so the voting station would then eventually open. So these are just some of the challenges, and the IEC saying that overall all the parties have now agreed. But of course, the one thing that remains is that charge of fraud that has been laid by the EFF against some IEC officials who apparently or allegedly did not ink voters. And so that, I guess, we have to wait and hear what they have to say. We saw Mbuyiseni Ndlozi here earlier on, and we tried to get his thinking around whether or not following those IEC meetings they had dropped the charges. But he said they are waiting for the fat lady to sing, so to speak, for them to issue their statement and to talk to us. So all the parties really wait and see, saying that they will only talk to us after the final results have been announced. Natasha.
All right, Nthakoana, thanks so much. For now, we'll leave it there. Nthakoana Ngatane in Sasolburg, monitoring the results of those crucial by-elections. She says that results are being consolidated, so final results expected in about an hour or two from now.